Hello, hello, hello.
What
That
up?
beat was so hot.
Hi.
Welcome to TWG Fan Club. I am Queen PR, one half of those wrestling girls. Shout out to my girl KRISTA B. We are back on Twitch with my crew. It's the first show of 2023.
Wake up, wake up, wake
The
up. It's the
first,
first of the month.
very first
It's
episode.
the first of the month.
Wake up,
So
wake up,
I
wake
couldn't
up.
think of a better time to kick off this fucking show. But deliriously tired from waking up at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning to watch Mercedes Monet debut in Japan. But we'll get into that. As you can imagine, I'm a happy girl. This is the best way to kick off this year. We have a really big show ahead. A lot of big things have been happening. How are you all? First of all, I'm gonna check in with y'all, and then we'll get into things.
I'm
You
tired.
want to go first?
The holidays it's the most draining time of the goddamn year.
This
I'm
is
glad it's over.
holiday hangover time, and then people
Yes.
go to work, and it's like, what the hell is happening?
But new year, new things. So I'm excited. Big shit popping, ain't shit stopping. That's the attitude.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey.
There it is.
I'm
I guess for
good.
me,
Good.
exhausted. Exhausted. I am one of
Yeah.
those that January 4th comes around, Wrestle Kingdom. I know there's Japanese WrestleMania. It's a very big deal. You good, Brian?
I was looking at the comments. Sorry.
Ah. You good.
Oh, prayers up right now for Cody and Dustin Rhodes. Right now, and their family. Also, prayers up
Oh damn.
Rod's WWE Hall of Famer. He recently had a heart attack. And is currently recovering. So prayers up for him as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think that's a perfect way to just remember to, appreciate life. Appreciate life.
Absolutely. It's very short, as we definitely say our prayers to Damar Hamlin, we just like that, So but yeah, we here at the club tonight. I'm excited. No, I ain't trying to be desensitive, but we this is the time where we hang out. Our appointment to hang out every Wednesday. So I'm really excited about tonight's show. I know that we got a lot to talk about. Have y'all had a nap?
No.
Oh, I had to go to work. I had to be at work at 7 o'clock this morning. So I had
Mm,
running.
I slept maybe an hour. Like
Look,
maybe
I
an
am, I
hour.
guess, the
this how I
fortunate one
feel.
that was able to take a nap because what Brian's doing right now, showing them coffee mugs, that was me from 3 to 8 all day, and then
I don't
literally
know how
went to
you did
sleep.
it.
I'm used to it now. I'm used to it now.
Mhm.
This is now my 7th Wrestle Kingdom watching it live, so
Oh,
I've done it
wow.
through staying up the entire day. I've done taking off the day. I've done like, yo, let's turn up and turn into a party. Nah,
Mm.
sleep.
Ooh.
Learn to sleep early. Get your naps and all that. And I'm
Yeah.
still struggling.
Yeah, I'm honestly really excited to get into Japan because this is my first time. I'm sure there's a lot of other people, and at least our fan base's first time. We're very WWE centric, so I'm very excited to talk about that. But before we get into all of that, I do want to take care of some house business. Shout out to KRISTA B. Maybe she can join us for a little bit. But we are launching new episodes back next Monday and every other Monday. We are so excited to record new episodes. I guess I'll just say, I think we probably have already, but our first episode is a spotlight on Alundra Blaze.
Yeah, buddy.
And there
Hey.
might be some other surprises in there that I'm very excited. I'm not going to go on because I might spill it. But yeah, so stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on everywhere your favorite podcasts are. We are going to continue going weekly on Twitch. The Collision last week was like amazing. I love collaborating with Krista B, Christina, and a lot of people liked it. So we'll definitely be bringing that back. Back to the year, and it made us really excited for the new year. So make sure you check that replay out. We're gonna be posting it on our Patreon. But fan club every Wednesday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, with me and the crew. We are a wrestling fan club, so it's really an excuse for us to get together with other wrestling fans and our friends. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to Kev, and everyone that joins us to talk wrestling, the biggest stories of the week, and I think we're going to be talking about one of the biggest stories already of the year soon. And of course, Krista B and Christina go live with Krista B Sounds Off every Friday. So stay tuned for that time and make sure you join them. And also, shout out to everyone that attended our spaces this morning. That was one of our friends, and it really was like off the cuff. It was Brian H. Waters' idea, like, you know, if we are go, you know, start spaces time, and you know, Krista B being the legend that she is, she said, "Fuck it, let's do it," and we did one, and it was really good. It was really good.
It was dope. It was good to be a part of. I was on there as I was getting ready for start doing some stuff for work, and yeah, it was a lot of fun just to hear everybody's instant reaction. You know, when you're on that immediate high, right, of a big debut or a return or something in wrestling, that's the best part about being a wrestling fan. Because growing up, what did we do? We picked up the phone, we called, "Oh my gosh, did you see this?" And that's what Spaces gave us an opportunity to do. Because first of all, can I break the fourth wall a little bit? I had to ask, you know, my man Justin. Let me tell y'all, Justin is a gem, right? I ain't gonna tell y'all all why he's a gem because y'all can't have him. But his brother always keeps us up to date with things, keeps us educated. He is a secret weapon. And like I said, it's crazy because it's like he's in, like I've been saying, where y'all been all my life? You know, like we was just hanging out together back in DC for Raw, and then obviously when we was in Philly. But you know, Justin be on it, like especially just getting everybody up to speed with Wrestle Kingdom. Seindole, when we did the PWI 150, getting us up to speed on why Shuri was #1. And it's got everybody excited, and that's what we bring here. We bringing that energy to the fan club coming up in 2023. This is gonna be a great year. I'm trying to tell y'all because we just getting started. And say we got more big announcements to come.
We got a lot of good things coming your way.
Oh, we really, really do.
Oh, y'all thought we were playing?
Nah.
No, we're definitely not. And what's exciting too is it's all new things. It's all things that we've kind of like always looked forward to, goals that we've manifested, and we're really making that happen. Very, very inspiring. Hi, Rakasha. Day one. I hope you're good. Hey, Mike. So before we go and take this quick break before we get into things, I do want to give a shout out to For Your Wear. They are growing. Brian H. Waters is actually I'm
in uniform today,
rocking the and one cool thing about Brian is like he just surprises us and like reps everyone's merch. Like it's not like we're like, yo, we gotta wear those wrestling girls. You always support, and I appreciate that. Shout out to Blue.
No problem.
So let's take this break. And we are gonna get into my first Wrestle Kingdom.
Yes.
They're very exciting.
What up? It's your boy Blue Magic from the Mix Tag Show and also owner For Your Wear. Now, I know you've seen the announcement from some of your favorite podcasters, and soon you'll see some of your favorite wrestlers too. I decided to expand my business to be a vendor so people from the wrestling community have more chance to connect with some of their favorites. So check out ForYouWear.com and see if your favorite podcaster or wrestler has teamed up with me. If not, let them know they should. Also, if you're looking for a vendor for your merchandise, go ahead and reach out to me at Blue Magic Grind, spell how it sound, or For Your Wear, FORURWEAR. And shout out to those wrestling girls for being one of the first to join me on this journey. Their merch is already up, so go ahead and cop that.
Yeah, y'all shout out. Cop that. Look, Justin got it in the background.
Facts. Yeah, he rocking everything.
I haven't worn this shirt yet. That's why I was like, I'm gonna wear this one. I wore the pink one a few times. I wore it on Wrestling for the Culture, but I wanted to make sure. I was like, man, this gray feel good. You know, I had the last one in gray, so I had to get this one in gray.
Love it. Gray it's one of our brand colors, but it's a very subtle one. So I appreciate that you actually cop the gray merch because it definitely makes the logo pop for sure. So I want to get our hoodies. Definitely get our hoodies.
You know what? Speaking of hoodies,
and we have
it's my hoodie season around here. I don't know about
pay attention to that.
It's hoodie season.
The
it's
weather
big
is
boy
hoodies
season
around here.
It's hoodie season. It's big boy season. It's cuffing season. So a lot of season going on right about now.
Ooh, look at that hoodie.
That's to let it look clean. It's clean season. Look at that. Get you a hoodie. I need to get me one. I got a shirt, but I don't have a hoodie yet. Definitely need to get me
one.
That's
a hoodie you just gotta hide from your girl because your girl be trying to snatch that hoodie. Like you gotta hide those ones.
That's the type of hoodie that I'm gonna take from my man because he's not gonna say no. There you go.
I am a hoodie thief. I am shameless.
Yeah, I've stolen a couple of hoodies my day and I've not given them back.
I'm definitely
no shame in my game. Listen, you knew what it was when you signed up.
See, this is why I'm single because y'all snatching my hoodies. This is why I stay single. Like, no, we will fight. I will put you in a sharpshooter over my hoodies. You know how hard it took to collect these?
You can spare one. Like, if she's the one, spare one.
Well, speaking of one, sparing, let's find out, did Seindole spare any points on the grade book today?
Oh, God.
Wow. Nice segue.
Yes. So, Tam versus Kyrie. This match, now, I had to watch the replay because if you can hear it, the girl's a little under the weather, and not for nothing, as loyal as I am to New Japan Pro Wrestling, I've subscribed. I've been watching for a very long time. It is very hard to stay up at 2 a.m. So shout out to all those who stayed up and watched this pay-per-view. It was actually a really good pay-per-view. It is their WrestleMania, in my opinion. But this match kind of set the tone for why we should pay more attention and why we should give more respect to women's Japanese wrestling. Stardom and this partnership with New Japan Pro Wrestling is long overdue. It's been long talked about, and that's just because the people at Stardom, Japanese wrestling, have separated men for the women such a long time, but now they're starting to finally give their elevation that no, they're all on the same level. Tam really impressed me. She's come a long way in her technique. She's very much a technician. And let's just say it is what it is. Kyrie is Kyrie. Like, Kyrie, we got the Kyrie last night that we all loved watching in WWE, but just add a little bit more spice, if that makes any more sense. Gave it a 4.3. The technicians on point. It was good back and forth. I did notice a couple of struggles. And the only reason why I really gave it a 4.3 is because the match should have went longer. I'm so used to women's Japanese matches going longer. Like my pick for the end of the year match, Siri versus Julia, that was like a 15-minute bout. This match, give or take, I believe was like 6 minutes. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. You can correct me if I am, but it was a little short. I was expecting a little bit more. And we all know why now. Why they were probably like, listen, we got some big news. Let's just get in there and get out. Let's just give us the nostalgia. Give us what we want. We really, really want. Let's give the people what they've been waiting for, and we got it. So it was a great match. I wish it was longer. We gave it a 4.3. And you guys Feel free to yell at me, shout at me, tell me I'm wrong, spit blasphemy. But you guys can tell me what you guys think.
Just as long as it's keep it respectful. I'm just saying. No, I thought that was a fair grade.
Respectfully.
Sitting back watching the match, I kind of understood why, but like you said, it is in Japan where matches are extended. But I've got my American audience hat on, right? And I'm thinking people are going to crap all over the match anyway because they're going to be constantly looking towards the back to see what's coming out next, because everybody, as they said, the worst kept secret. But it would have been nice if they could have had a longer match. But overall, it was entertaining. Congratulations to Kyrie to be able to have this opportunity, and to her opponent. And then for Mercedes Moné, which I know we'll get into, but to me, I mean, just the moment, like, you want to go viral nowadays in social media, and that's exactly what happened. They went viral.
They did. It really did put women's wrestling back on New Japan Pro Wrestling's back. That pressure. We always talk about pressure. I feel like WWE, when the women's revolution started, it was a revolution that had started with, my fair opinion, it was a revolution that started when Trish and Lita main evented Raw for the first time. For the championship, and it's been an ongoing revolution. But like, how can we put pressure on people's backs? Get us some qualified people. Get us the women that were models or were only there to literally be on the red carpet with celebrities in WrestleMania weekend, and make them wrestlers. Give us the Nikki and Brie Bellas of the world. Applying pressure. Give us the AJ Lees and the Eve Torres of the world. The 5'3" who's meant to only be a valet, going back to back with championships, applying pressure. Eve Torres applying pressure. Melina applying pressure. Like, when you apply pressure, it's been so much pressure applied that when Sasha, Charlotte, Becky, and Bailey, and Emma, and Paige, and all these women showed up, listen, you can't ignore the pressure on your back. You literally have to either go get it checked out by a doctor, or you gonna have to just roll with pain. And people, let's check this shit out. And that's what happened. And I feel like Stardom has come such a long way. Like, if I wish and I hope, because I'm hoping those wrestling girls does do a really nice package on Stardom. I know you guys are in that segue. I know there's a whole lot in store, but when you guys get into it the way I've been captivated into Stardom, like, there's times where I don't watch that. When Raw and SmackDown and AEW are on, I do nothing but watch Stardom matches, because it's that captivating to see how these women, like, they wrestle, not like the men, but they like bust their back. Like, they give pressure, 7 pounds of it. And matches like that, like I said, it's disappointing that it wasn't longer, but it was really hard for me to pick my match of the year because there were so many good Stardom matches from last year. And again, it's just about, these women aren't playing, they're applying pressure. They're like, listen, we know we're the best, we're here in the East with boys too. It's not just it's not just the men putting on pressure here, it's us too.
And then just to piggyback off that, where you talk about applying pressure, you look at both these women deserve their flowers, because you look at the thing that they just accomplished with just this match alone. This is the first time you had women wrestle on the actual Wrestle Kingdom main card. Yes. That has never happened before.
That's never happened.
They just created the IWGP Women's Championship. So now this is the first time that's ever been defended. So you're checking off 2 bucket list boxes right there. Now, could the match have been longer? Sure, because usually Wrestle Kingdoms, since this is not my first, this is like my 7th one, usually tend to be longer, especially like the one nights where they have like intermissions and stuff like that. So usually these bleed to like 8:30 at times. So for this one to end earlier, it's like, huh. But then that's another conversation for another time. But to put it right back on them, I was looking forward to this match because from what Seindole was saying, like, I've heard nothing but great things from Stardom all year.
So Justin, like, I want to ask you. I want to ask you a question. Do you think the reason they made the match shorter because they wasn't sure how their audience would react, it being in the Tokyo Dome?
No, 1,000%. Okay. Oh, sorry. I know it was a question for Justin, but no, 1,000%.
Yeah.
It's that plus this is the first year that they're able to actually like cheer and make noise because of COVID restrictions. Like the last two Wrestle Kingdoms, they can only just clap or stomp. They weren't allowed to make any noise whatsoever. So this being the first time is like we don't know how to react to this. Sort of similar to like how like WrestleMania 37, where it's like you have limited people, 25,000 people. It's not a packed house. This is coming fresh out of COVID. This is now the first show in front of people for like a year. We don't know how the town's going to react, but we don't know how the fans going to react either.
Okay, yeah, because that's what I was wondering. I was like, well, understanding the difference and understanding this is groundbreaking, but it's like, is this one of those things you kind of want to ease your way into, as opposed to going full steam ahead, giving us a 20-minute women's match?
No, I can totally see that, because it was a very like American like moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because Mercedes Moné is like a WWE superstar. Like she, so like she's well known, but it's also just like it's different. And this was a history making moment that Justin educated me earlier, which made me love the moment even more. So just the fact that they were able to like make that history. So I do feel like it was more like kind of like testing the waters a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it did make the champion look like the match was short, but it did make the champion look strong. Like it did what it was supposed to do. Like I didn't feel necessarily cheated. It was more just a shock. Like that was good. But I do want everyone to tune in to Krista B Sounds Off this Friday because she's going to go more into it. But
yeah.
It's also because of how they structured their matches. So New Japan structures their matches very differently from WWE, where WWE usually space out the matches everyone wants to see, and then you split up with like cool down matches. Whereas New Japan builds to a crescendo, so all the matches everyone wants to see is on the back end, and that's going to get the most time. So the matches that everyone was like, we don't know about this one, are going to be on the front end of the card, and usually those get the shorter time, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's very much structured. I mean, another thing that crossed my mind too is that for the longest time, like the analysis and the rumor is that someone's basically trying to make a good relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling. We've already seen the Forbidden Door, but the biggest feedback and disappointment, I never knew this. The biggest feedback and disappointment from Forbidden Door was that you have about 5 different Japanese female wrestlers in AEW, and none of them were put on the card. Not the pre-card, not the main card, nothing. And for you to do that, you're kind of taking a few steps back. So it, in its sense, my biggest spotlight for Stardom, and I think that this is what kicked everything off, is like people are forgetting you have Asuka, you have Kana. Kana is the blueprint. Like, if I wouldn't be surprised if Mercedes was like, listen, if Kana did it and look at where she's at, this has been my dream. I've always wanted. She said on Broken Skull Sessions, she really wanted to go to Japan, but WWE called first. Like, this is the year of bucket list. Like, we not, like I said, we not playing games. We not sitting home and saying, oh, I wish I could have did that. Like, if you have the full opportunity, and Vince and Triple H and management, whatever their agreement was when they tried to get her back, and she was just like, listen, hey, I would love to come back, but there's some things I got to do. And they were like, you know what? We can't fold you. Your contract's ending. Go ahead. Then let's do that, because they know what Forbidden Door they're stepping into. Like, imagine her having the best run in New Japan Pro. And we talked about it on Sound Off with Krista B on the Spaces. She's not just limited to New Japan. She's limited to go wherever she wants. Like, if she wants to go to AEW, she can do that.
And
she wants to go to Impact.
Yeah.
She's not restricted whatsoever. So, in my opinion, we're getting back into territories without knowing that we're getting back into territories. Because remember, it's been a long time since Vince McMahon's WWE was the only thing you had left. And then little by little, you had companies Like TNA turned into Impact, turned into, what they are today. Then you had AEW forming. Then you have New Japan Pro Wrestling being like, listen, we have the money and the backing to start showing what our talents got over here too. Let's just start doing our pay-per-views. They got Mexico, same thing. Like Mexico's like, listen, we are a family-owned business. We keep it in legacies, luchos. Let's show it. Like it's not just WWE anymore. And I'm looking at Sasha Mercedes, looking at that and going, yeah, Miss Monet, and seeing where she can go. So again, the one thing that I'm knowing that this was a good test run, because now they see the reaction of the people that they're bringing into New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like Brian said, they created the belt for this, and in my opinion, it's just they want to crack the door open with women, because like, sad for me to say it, in Japan, wrestling with women has been on a very slow incline, because it wasn't on an incline at all. So this is what it takes for them to finally get up the stock price to change. Then let it be this.
And speaking of them stock prices,
so I want to.
Yes, I would love to see that.
Oh, me too. So I want to segue into Mercedes Moné and just bring up the topic of like being like a needle mover. So a lot of people bring that phrase up, because that's what it takes to be like a true star. You know what I mean? Like, are you going to have people like myself wake up at 3:00 in the morning and watch Wrestle Kingdom for the very first time, going in blind? I did that for Mercedes Moné, and a lot of people did, especially our audience, because TWG audience a lot of us are WWE and Sasha Banks fans, and all of us were waiting for her to come back. So that to me is what a needle pusher is. That's to me when you start using the words legend. That's when you start using the term GOAT, and those terms get thrown around so easily, like on social media. But I think last night was an example of how Mercedes Bernardo is taking women's wrestling to that other level. Like, I don't remember a time where there was a female wrestler that generated that much interest, that much star power to anything in wrestling, So that's when you have to give her props, because one, that was one of her goals in wrestling. And she worked hard to get there, and she bet on herself, and it fucking worked out. So just being able to have that moment where, like I said, I probably, no shade, no tea, would have probably never watched a Wrestle Kingdom. And I actually did, because, and even like, a lot of my favorite wrestlers went to like AEW, where it's like, oh, I'm happy that they're somewhere else, but it never got me to like tune into AEW weekly. But Sasha Mercedes Moné, though, I will 100% do that. And I don't know if there's a lot of there are other women who have that sort of star power.
No, but you know what? I'm thinking back to the time, remember in the Nitro book when they talked about WCW wanted to get Sable, and they would have her at ringside, and she would be Rena Mero. Mercedes is smart, because while she was Sasha Banks doing her comeback, she started using her name, so you wouldn't get like, who is Mercedes Bernardo?
You don't want to get too confused.
Yeah, like think about it. When The Rock started movies and he started going by Dwayne Johnson, he was not moving the needle, because the name Dwayne Johnson didn't carry weight, so he had to use The Rock. So she started using her name. She was in The Mandalorian and stuff, doing interviews, and it's smart for her to use the name Mercedes Moné, as opposed, I think somebody said at one point they was using rumors like Monet Banks and stuff like that. Yeah. But it made sense, and she's somebody who is a student of the game, and you can tell she's learned a lot from the previous generation. Like me and Jay Bougie talk all the time, and one of the things we talk about is watching the DVDs, watching the documentaries, getting the history lessons from those who paved it before. It's so easy, and you can see that Mercedes Varnado has done that. That's why she knows her worth. And like you said, P, being a needle mover, because all right, Chris Jericho went over to Wrestle Kingdom. Justin will know the number, I won't. But I remember a lot of us getting up that year because we wanted to see Jericho and Omega, because that was like a big deal, you know. And he's Chris Jericho. That's what he does. That's the level she was on today. And mind you, this was just based off a rumor, because there was even like we saw the tweets, we saw the trademarks, which I hate when people do that, to be honest with you. Like, come on. But whatever. We saw all of this, and it was enough to say, you know what? We're gonna get up. Knowing when we knew Naomi and Bailey was over there, it's like, all right, she's showing up. It's just a matter of what part of the show.
Exactly. But I still feel like there's that star power quality, though, where she never had to confirm anything. To this day, since she's left, she has never denied nor confirmed anything.
Yep. She's basically been military silence on social media since her hiatus. The only time you've seen her talk about anything has been Fashion Week or popping up at Black Panther or other Marvel movie premieres and stuff like that. Otherwise,
and then promote her weed business and stuff.
But see, so before we answer, because I definitely want to answer Nikki's question, to just
shout out to Nikki. I know she'll be happy we talk about Charlotte Flair later.
Oh yeah. The star power that Mercedes Varnado has. It's certain wrestlers that are WWE, where them showing up at Wrestle Kingdom would not have even close to the same impact. You know what I mean? And like, I feel like one of those people in this moment is like even Charlotte, like she's very like WWE. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think it would be hit the same.
Ooh.
I don't, because Mercedes Varnado to me is you know what I'm saying? Like, she was like, I want to be the best woman in wrestling. Like, before WWE, she wanted to be in Japan, because that's how you know if you're a fucking good ass wrestler. That's legend status, that's GOAT status. And she can knock that off her bucket list. Like, Charlotte, to me, I think she would succeed 100%. Do I think she has the ability? 100%. But she has that, like, homegrown WWE type of feel to me. Right now, at least. So, but Sasha, to me, I feel like she can literally go anywhere and adapt and thrive and be like the best there is, you know?
Nah, I'm
look at what Sasha just did. We're talking about first evers. Sasha's the first woman to pull up at Wrestle Kingdom and challenge for a women's title. That's also never happened before. Usually when they've had women on Wrestle Kingdom, they're valets, Brandy Rhodes, or one of the ladies from Bullet Club and stuff like that. They're not actual wrestlers. So to have that moment where we're going to shut it down and treat it like a big ass entrance, and a big ass reveal, and a big ass, yo, she's here and she's here to wrestle. That is a huge, huge deal.
I would say, if y'all,
go ahead. Sorry, I just feel like with like the women, not everyone can realistically exist in Japan, be a star in WWE at the same time.
That's what I was just about to say. I was about to say the same thing.
Completely different vibe. You have to like be like a wrestler. Like it has to be something that comes natural to you, because it's very different styles. So that's why like there's a Kairi Sane. Like Kairi Sane is one of those like rare talents that thrived like in the US. Like and that's why that worked last night. It was Kairi Sane. That's why I was like, it was a very American moment, because like Kairi, I know who Kairi Sane is. And do I know who the fuck she was wrestling? Hell no. But
you will now.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So like I just don't feel like an Alexa Bliss. Like I don't think you have that aura, like you would like.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that Disney polish where it's like, you know, like how stars, Disney stars, where it's like got to go through that gritty period to make so to see like do you got what it takes to be like a real actor type shit. That's how I feel like with Japan. Like that's where it's like, yo, are you a wrestler? You're a wrestler. And Sasha Banks had to be the woman from WWE to do that shit, to me.
No. In all seriousness, though, I agree. I just think that. So I think Charlotte could have made an imp per se. It wouldn't have been the same. Like, if you don't mind, I'm gonna make a comparison to the men of the Attitude Era. Sasha is like if Stone Cold would have showed up, or even The Rock, because I'm putting them on the same level for this conversation. Charlotte would have been like if Triple H would have showed up. Yeah, we're happy to see him, but it's still like you said, because she's a global superstar, and really she's showing like I'm about to go out there and show like the name Mercedes Monet, the name Mercedes carries weight. So
Right.
I agree with you. You know, I don't honestly though. I don't think any other woman could have done what she's done. Just did. Even Becky Lynch, and we know like Becky Lynch.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, even Becky's star power was like up there in what 2018, 19 when she was like on top of the world. But I don't think she could have did. And mind you, she's a wrestler. We know that. Like she's, you know, from Europe. She put the grind and she put the work. But I don't think she has that star power the same way, because if you look at Sasha or Mercedes, she's pop culture also, and that's also plays a huge part. Look, she was doing Kevin Hart's videos, she was doing all this other stuff on the red carpet.
Crossover. It's that crossover.
I'm gonna piggyback off of.
Go ahead.
Piggyback off of everything all three of you just said, and add to the fact that it all boils down to your why. I'm gonna come off the heels of watching Becoming Ric Flair.
Minority come and bring it
yes,
in.
it all comes into a why. You have to think about why Charlotte Flair is there in WWE, why Sasha is there, but think about why Mercedes is in the business. So listen to me when I say this, right? Charlotte's reason for being in WWE is a 180 from why Mercedes wants to be in this business. And me and Pete, I always say this: the earlier you wrestle, the different your aspirations and your goals are as a wrestler. Like Mercedes was an independent wrestler; she was already Mercedes. We just got a treat by her coming to WWE and saying, you know what, I'm gonna make a statement. I'm gonna make a statement here. I'm gonna do my thing, but this isn't my forever thing. Like, no, I got places to go, and it's just like Nikki said. Charlotte was not supposed to be their member. If anybody, I literally encourage everybody to watch Becoming Ric Flair, because now besides the fact that Ric Flair should he's a cat in my opinion. He's got 900 fucking lives. Like literally, the reason why Charlotte has stayed where she's at right now is for a completely different reason. She's doing it because she's doing it for somebody. She's not only doing it for her dad, she's doing it for her brother. God rest his soul. It was his dream. And now she's turned that dream into something for herself. She's accomplishing the things her brother should have did. She's doing the thing and taking the road pieces her father wore, stepping in his footsteps. But that's her thing. Mercedes' thing, on the other hand, is I'm not staying in one place. You're not going to keep me here. You're not going to put me in a cage. You're going to set me free. I want to go places. Japan was supposed to be first. WWE was my first check. I done collected that check. And now I'm here to do more. I could do so much more. I could go to Mexico. I could go to Ireland. I could go back to Japan. I can go back to the US and do whatever I want, because that's been the goal. Once you separate the person from the goal and you see what they're there for, I don't think Becky Lynch at this point, Becky Lynch, in this perfect example, Becky Lynch just did everything she's supposed to do. Shimmer was a worldwide promotion. They went from England to the US to Japan to the England to US to Mexico. She's done that already. WWE may be her last stopping ground, but even then, you can't even never say never, because she might be up here and be like, you know what, this Forbidden Door is open. I want to see what's back out there too. Because she do it the way that Mercedes do it? Hell no. Because Japan, because when I tell you the aura on Mercedes was completely different last night, the color, the vibrance on her makes me excited about what's to come.
Right.
And just to jump in on this real quick, to piggyback off Seindele's thing, like Sasha, we've never had someone like Sasha before in wrestling. Whereas you have someone that's in their prime that is a hot commodity, like free agent in wrestling for a woman. The last time we had someone of this magnitude was Kenny Omega, and we didn't know if Kenny was staying in New Japan or going to AEW. Sasha, the entire time, is where is she going? Is she going to AEW? Is she going to Japan? Is she going to Stardom? Is she coming back to WWE? And then, like Brian was talking about with crossover appeal, you have a lot of celebrities that follow Sasha. The Crew is arguably one of the most loyal fan bases in all of wrestling. Like I follow a lot of these people on social media to where they're coordinating with each other way before Wrestle Kingdom. All right, so what time does this come on? Where do I set up my alarm? What is New Japan World? How do we sign up? What do I got to do? What time is this match going to be? What specific match? What's the law? What's the regulations on posting the stuff on social media as far as the DMCA stuff, so we don't get flagged? And they're like, they are coordinated to where she goes, we go, we support, and we will be there with pics, videos, gifts, buying merch. They dropped the link to the pro wrestling teams. That's already like selling like hotcakes. They dropped the link for the February show that Mercedes supposed to face Kyrie for that title. That damn thing, Ticketmaster crashed in the middle of wrestling because everyone's buying up that ticket.
I saw their tickets for $44. I said, y'all must want y'all sites crash. You mean to tell me that's how much it's going to cost? And then they announced dates for DC and Philly, two of the biggest wrestling towns around. So this PLAN that I be talking to you and just listen. This in my mind. That's like, listen, me and Patricia, we gonna have to. But that's the kind of thing. That's the point of this all. Like, the Forbidden Door is creating these opportunities that everybody wanted a piece of the pie in, and now everybody's going to get a piece of the pie. Like, even if they weren't, let's say, for example, WrestleMania was in Philly, I can guarantee you the Turnpike up and down is going to be full of shows. If you're not going to do a show in Philly, Camden has 2 bridges, Glassboro has 1. Trenton is right up the street. You're going to have a wrestling event somewhere, somehow. And the fact that they announced the show in the ECW arena, what?
Yep.
Well, she made it very clear. Let's show this real quick.
Mercedes Mone, and I am the CEO of New Japan and Stardom's women's division. And this is only just my first stop because I'm on a world domination. Only just my first stop because I'm on a world.
Exactly.
She's not playing.
She's treating it as basically like her version of the Broken Hardys, where you saw Matt and Jeff basically go from promotion to promotion, wrestling everyone that they wanted to on their expedition of gold before they ended up at WrestleMania 33 wrestling back in WWE, but they were going all over the place, wrestling everyone. Like I said, Mercedes is a unicorn. We've never seen this for a woman of her star power. You guys were talking about Charlotte. We don't know if Charlotte can really pull her fans. Like, if Charlotte left right now to go to AW or Japan, there's no 100% like certainty her fans are going to go with her. And the same kind of goes with Becky Lynch. Whereas with Sasha, they've made it clear where she goes, we go.
We go.
Say the word.
And it's like,
we will buy your merch. We will buy whatever subscriptions. We will stay up at 3 a.m. By the way, for the people that are wrestling fans overseas, I apologize because I know we were complaining about Wrestle Kingdom getting up early, and I know y'all do that all the time for Raw, SmackDowns, WWE
right.
events, WrestleMania.
Their WrestleMania shows at like 1 a.m. Like, what? I was like, wait, it does? And my friend was like, yeah. In South Korea, he was like, yo, people are up in the bars at 1 o'clock in the morning watching it. And it's not like you would think, like, it's like Legends, like how Legends is. Mm-hmm. They literally up at 1 a.m. watching. I said, damn, I'm sorry. I'm like, y'all supposed to be getting up and going to church, and American you culture. Literally, and then like Central Standard Time, I think it was like 6:30. Like, I think centralized time was like 6 o'clock. I don't know if in the comments I'm right or I'm wrong.
something
So
like
we
that.
officially we feel your pain. I apologize because I saw my timeline just nothing on what time is Sasha coming, what time is Kyrie's match, and then
Yep.
when Sasha came out as Mercedes Moné, did cut her
And then shout out to
promo.
those wrestling girls because I was on Twitter and I noticed that we were the first people to post about it, and then everybody has to wake up and do it. So,
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I
And in
set
the
my
middle
alarm.
of
I was
Wrestling
gonna do
Kingdom,
that. Yeah,
y'all had Mercedes trending, y'all had Sasha trending. I saw y'all was saying, "Fuck a damn DMCA." We're getting these videos up, we're getting these gifs up, we're getting these pictures up. That by 7 o'clock, Mercedes was everywhere, and
yes.
yeah.
that just shows.
And it was great too. Like for me, and I want to shout out Bonner and Women's Wrestling Talk because they put the Sasha Banks topic in the box for their weekly news show because it was just like at some point, what more can you say about her? And then also got kind of like traumatic is a very strong word, but for Sasha Banks fans because it's like all this speculation, like there's always like she's returning, she's this, she's that. Very like emotionally taxing, and it was just like I can't keep doing this. And Bonner tweeted yesterday, "It's okay to be excited, like you know what I mean, like no, like let's enjoy this. Like Mercedes, Renato is making her wrestling return, and we should celebrate that. We should be excited about it." And I had even put like the Sasha Banks thing in a box because I was just like I care so much about it that I was just like I don't and again she's never confirmed anything, which again is fucking legends. That's like fucking whole Jay-Z status where it's like they don't have to see anything. Beyonce doesn't have to confirm anything. They drop their art, they make those announcements, and then that's it. That's their story. And Sasha Banks always loved her wrestling herself. So I'm all about it. But I don't know who needs to mute, but I want to segue as far as like star power to Naomi because a lot of this whole conversation since they walked out of WWE, Sasha Mercedes is a very polarizing figure. So the conversation was definitely dominated with her. But at the same time, Naomi also walked out, is a veteran in WWE, does deserve, is very talented, does deserve as much spotlight and conversation as Mercedes. Rumor is she's going to be back in WWE soon, but where do you see her fitting? Do you want to see her go back to WWE? We were talking about people that can transcend. Do you see Naomi being one of those people? Like, does she have that WWE shine on her too much? What are your thoughts now with kind of like in hindsight and also seeing how much she's done outside of wrestling? And also someone who's never confirmed or denied anything. What are your thoughts now on Naomi now that you see where Sasha's ended up?
I think that's a tough question. Do I see her back in WWE? Yes. Do I see it being for long? No. And let me tell you why. There's such, like I said, let's not doubt anybody's ability to do what they want to do outside of WWE because I can count about 5 different wrestlers who were released from WWE who have left WWE and then they go on to other places and do 20 times better. Like the first 3 people in my mind, Drew McIntyre, Dina Peraza, and Mickey James. Like they left released, left, whatever. But look at what they did after that. Like for me and I love watching AAA. I love it. Shout out anybody in the space watch AAA. Hit me up on Twitter. Let's talk about it. Like I love watching their pay-per-views because it's always like it's festive. You never know where it's going. Their square circle is interesting. But for her to win that championship while holding the Impact Championship, and for her to like, everybody was like, "Oh shit!" Like Dina means business. Like now it's not a joke. Like we got to take Dina seriously. Like she had her little stint in WWE, and people were thinking, "Okay, after WWE, that's gonna be it for her." But that's not what happened at all. Like she's killing it right now. Like she's PWI top. She's been PWI top 10 2 years straight. Like we can't doubt her anymore. But this was somebody that in my head, at first when I looked at her, like I'm not thinking she's gonna go anywhere far after WWE. But look at how she surprised us afterwards. Another person, Drew McIntyre, he got released. I didn't remember Drew McIntyre. All I remember the last thing he did was that 1-man band shit or 3-man band shit. And then he goes to Impact and he takes over. He's like, all right, I'm stepping in here now. It's my shit. Y'all not too big enough for your boots. I'm big enough for the boots. I'm taking over. And he kills it. Like he runs Impact to the point where he's like, all right, I'm done. I'm going back to WWE now. Like it, you never know. So with Naomi, do I see her having this glorious run wherever they can take her in it? Yes, but do I see her catching the bug of like, all right, my best friend's here. I have friends who've not had the worst experience going somewhere else, and now I want to do it too. Do I see her doing that? Yes. So do I see her staying in WWE for that long? Not really. And it's not to say that I don't think she can hold her own in WWE with the spotlight, but it's also not to say that she does not have the potential to wow us outside of the E after, because she has that potential. Like there are people who know who she is. You forgot this was somebody who was on Total Divas. People know who she is to the point where she could be an Ebony magazine by herself in a feature. The same way she's not pushed, and I think that's what people are getting confused. She's not pushed on us the way that Bianca Belair is pushed on us, but she was at that point. So it's not going to be a problem with her getting pushed again. I don't see that at all. Do I see her a bit of a struggle in the beginning? Yeah, but I also see her a shit ton of potential. I just don't see her like getting knocked down and sitting back down, because if that was the case, she did Fashion Week, she's done photos, she's gone to premieres. Like who's to say she's not going to pop up in like a TV show for Disney Plus? Never say never, because she's already put herself out there.
See, with Naomi, it's like she's never really gotten a fair shake the same way Sasha has, where Sasha's been given like all the tools to be like a franchise player. She's been at the top of the card. She's got to main event WrestleMania. Naomi's always been the person that's like been there, but someone's always leapfrogged her, because we even forget how long Naomi's been in WWE before she got let go and stuff like that. So it depends on what she really wants to do and accomplish. Because I think WWE's kind of made it clear with the previous regime, like there's a ceiling to Naomi. Now, does Triple H feel that same way? I don't know. That comes down to the conversations that they have in private. But then, look who you got in WWE. You got Becky, you got Charlotte, you got Bianca. At the moment, you got Ronda. So it would have to be like, how am I going to use if I come back to WWE? Am I going to be back
Right.
of more of the same, where I'm a utility player and you kind of put me where you think I'm needed, like the women's tag team division, or I get to have a match with Charlotte, but I don't actually get to have like a feud with Charlotte. I get to have a match with Becky, but I don't get to have a feud with Becky. But she does have the tools to go elsewhere and prove her worth. Like Seindole was perfectly put in it. Like so many other people have done it to where they've upped their stock to be like Cody Rhodes. Perfect example. It was like, you don't see me as a main eventer.
My last person. That was going to be my last person.
You don't see me as a main eventer. You don't see me as top of the card. Let me go prove you wrong and show you what I'm worth. And it took him some while, and it took him, having to learn the hard way and stuff like that. But eventually he got there. So when he came back 20 times different. That's something that Naomi can definitely do. It's a matter of, does she want it? Like Sasha,
Right.
we've kind of already known, like, that's
you guys
there
feel
for
about what
you can do
Nikki
way
said?
better than WWE. And you can definitely be like, yeah, you deserve to be at the top. But Naomi is like, she's never really gotten that chance in WWE. So it's kind of like a more of an unknown for her compared to Sasha. Was like, nah, we know she's gonna be a big ass deal whether she stays or goes. I would personally love to see it.
I think Naomi coming back.
Go ahead, Brian.
I think she's coming back. If you gave me the book, there's a show that comes on every Friday on Fox. I'm spearheading her right to the top. If y'all remember a couple years ago, the women's champion, who we'll talk about soon, said, why can't she be in a program with Naomi? She's told this to Renee Paquette. She said, I want to be in a program with Naomi. Now is the time. Charlotte, Naomi, there's your Royal Rumble winner. I just booked it. Naomi wins the Royal Rumble and goes on and beats Charlotte at WrestleMania.
Oh, I like that.
Y'all know, here's a fact.
A good look.
Naomi is the first Black WWE superstar to win a championship at WrestleMania. She's also the first one to win 2 at WrestleMania. No, I'm sorry, Bianca did. Bianca beat her by
Bianca by day, yeah.
But you get what I'm going with. Like before, like yeah, The Rock didn't do it, Booker T didn't do it. Before Kofi did it, it was Naomi. So I don't like to compare the stars because they have different audiences and they have different, and then there's the conversation on could Naomi get over on her own? Was she being held back? But what I will say is that I truthfully believe that she'll be back in WWE and I believe she'll have respect. Even if it's despite Mercedes. We was gonna give you this, so we're gonna give it to Naomi. You never know.
And they would do some petty shit like that too. That's the crazy part.
100%.
That's the crazy part too.
I mean, there's so many things they can do with her on WWE. Like you mentioned that show on Friday, who happens to have her husband, her brother-in-law, her family over there. That you ever want to fresh up the bloodline? You know what they don't have as part of the crew? A lady,
a woman.
Always.
And
especially
Ava Rain is busy.
And especially with that SmackDown women's roster in flux, Charlotte needs someone to wrestle. You've already exhausted Becky so many times. You've kind of exhausted Bayley.
You've already exhausted Ronda. Like let Ronda rest, please.
No one wants to see Charlotte and Ronda wrestle another match. Triple H.
No one wants to. We're not allowed to. Yeah, okay. We're not allowed to talk about it, but we're done. We're tired. We're done. We're tired.
But
no means no, Hunter.
Here's the thing: you can ultimately build a collision course, right? Because you can have Naomi come back, work with the heels that are up and coming, and help establish them. You can have Charlotte work with the baby faces that's up and coming, or and then have this collision course, and then boom, Charlotte, Naomi, WrestleMania. So it's a lot of ways.
Who else Naomi hasn't faced? Bianca.
Oh yes.
But who's the heel? Or are you just doing straight Austin, Rock?
Bianca could be heel. I'm being real honest. I think it's time. Bianca could become a heel.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. She was a good heel in NXT.
Naomi to be the heel.
Wait. No,
but she's done that before and it hasn't worked.
Brian, I got you.
But the difference between that, hold on real quick. No, because Naomi being heel now is she has legitimate resentment. Like she has a legitimate case to be upset now.
Okay.
Doubt, like it kind of writes itself. It's not just like, we're gonna turn you heel now, and then it's like make it work. Like she could have a reason to be like, yo, fuck, like, but go ahead, Justin.
Not to mention that she has the heat with the fans, because there are gonna be fans that are gonna give her shit for walking out that are not gonna let her slide on that. You can always do Austin Rock, WrestleMania 17, and that's how you turn her into the bloodline.
I want to see that. Do anybody else want to see it?
I definitely.
Bianca and Naomi?
No,
or Naomi in the bloodline.
Naomi in the bloodline.
That's a way that
I could see it because I already see Sammy Uso halfway out the door. So why not just place him with a female? Yes, it's inevitable. I'm sorry. Him and Kevin Owens are the bestest friends that anybody can have. They're like us. Like we're the bestest friends that anybody can have. They're eventually going to hug it out and be like, "Fuck this. Let's just take the belts back." And they're gonna take the belts back, and then let's just set up this fantasy league. They say they this close at WrestleMania, but guess who pops up to spoil the match? Naomi.
Here's why we see it.
And it's 2 nights. So who's to say that somebody don't break their leg going into the championship and she gets a championship down the road. Boom. Because the bloodline's not going nowhere. The bloodline's not going nowhere. It's gonna
That's
go somewhere when Roman's like, I'm tired. I'm done. Y'all do what I
I
gotta
like
do.
what Kevin just said.
that's where I'm gonna piggyback off that because the bloodline's going nowhere. Roman's not losing the titles at WrestleMania. Number one. Number two,
Exactly.
look at all your factions right now in WWE. They all have women. Judgment Day has Rhea. Legado del Fantasma has Zelina. Hit Row has was it BFAB? Be real. I stay forgetting names. I'm
BFAB.
sorry about that. BFAB.
Damn. Don't do the homie
Then
like that.
Viking Raiders have Valhalla. But you see my point? Every faction has a
That face,
woman in
Justin.
there except for Bloodline. I know. I apologize, but you see where I'm going with this.
It was just funny. You just it was a
I was
subtle.
Valhalla.
Valhalla. But
You sound
every
like
faction
Thor.
has a woman. But the factions and the trios have women except for the bloodline. That's how you freshen up the bloodline for a year. Because I think Roman's not losing them titles until Philly. He's gonna
That's
hold
what
that
I
for
think
another
too.
year. That's how you freshen it up. BFAB, I'm sorry. I apologize.
When you say Philly, you mean like the Raw that's coming up very soon?
No, he means WrestleMania 40.
Because I'm saying Mania because Roman
Talking about Mania 40
Roman is close to 1,000 days as champion.
And they need it. They need it bad.
And not to mention, Seth right now just went down with an injury. We don't know the severity of his injury. AJ Styles is out. Randy Orton's out. Ain't 100% guaranteed we're getting Rock at this WrestleMania until I actually see his ass in the ring.
It's not 100% we're getting Cody either.
Cody's coming off a torn pectoral. There ain't no guarantees he's going to actually be like 1,000% ready for Rumble. Drew, we've gone there. Everyone else, we've gone there. Plus, they're so close to 1,000 days. Why the hell not? Let's revisit this at SummerSlam. And then if we can get to SummerSlam and see where Roman's at, if he's still beloved, why not go to Philly as your damn champion? Because then it gives Cody Rhodes a year to actually build himself up to be like, I should be the one that takes it off of him. If Seth Rollins is out for a while, that gives him time to heal up his leg injury, be ready, and then you can build him up to take it off of him.
I mean, if you did SummerSlam, though, it would be like a whole 3 years.
I don't see them taking it away from him anytime soon. I just don't.
It's a Mania move.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking if you're doing it like would it be 4 years by then?
Because you've built somebody. You've built somebody not only past all these people you were tired of having wrestled with. Like people were tired of John Cena winning back to back, right? Or main events back to back without any. Half the time John Cena was main eventing. Let's be real, it served no purpose. I love my fellow birthday tourist, but like, come on, him and the Miz.
What? That makes sense.
Come on, man. He just came back. He came back with the ball spot and everything. Let him be. You already got roasted for all these. We're gonna roast him for
No. He was Peacemaker for too damn long. So no, we're not doing it. Anyways, people were so much on the cuffs of why do you have this guy main event and he's not even champion? So now you have somebody with a strong stable and a strong storyline and a strong force that you like to take it off of him at some random point in time. Like the build up to WrestleMania at this point is literally who's going to take it from him. You think they're going to lose that? You think they're going to want to lose that? No. If they can keep it till 40, they're going to. Because guess what? At SummerSlam, you're gonna be asking the same damn thing. I doubt he's gonna do another War Games Survivor Series, but like if he goes up against somebody at Survivor Series, who's going to take it from that Survivor? You have to be strategic in how you build shit up. Like you'd be surprised he pull a Brock Lesnar and decide he want to enter the Royal Rumble. Let's call him spade what it is. Like that's where you literally build somebody to an enforceable object because enforceable objects in WWE are what pull the attraction of the fans to WWE because let's be real, he's an enforceable object at this point. He is. Anybody you put up against him, you're gonna remember it. Like people were like wondering why we kept getting so much of Drew. It was entertaining as hell to watch him and Drew. I thoroughly loved their feud. 1,000%. You put him up against Brock how many times? I was entertained by him and Brock. I love watching Fun Brock and I love watching Kick-Ass Brock, but I was entertained by Brock Lesnar for the first time in years. He didn't just come in there and fuck shit up. Came in there and fuck shit up trying to take the title. any person you put up against Roman Reigns, you've been entertained by. You put him up against John Cena, and people were excited about that after not caring about John Cena for how long. So don't matter new, old. If you were to take Braun Breaker out of NXT and put him against Roman Reigns, guess what? People probably be Braun Breaker fans the next morning because that's how much of an attraction Roman is.
A marquee name. And
Thank
that's
you. He is not going nowhere.
I was just watching, I want to say Icon, and Triple H was talking about the difference between being even the difference between being a top guy and being a marquee name, to your point, Seindole, where it doesn't matter who Roman Reigns faces. He can face John Cena for the 800,000th time. He's actually feuded with Kevin Owens before as the tribal chief, and we don't even care. We're like, just give it to us, anything, because they've really been able, that storytelling. He's a marquee name where it's let's build a fucking 3-year. We're talking about Mania in Philly almost 2 years from now, and we're fine with Roman holding the championship for that. I
haven't seen him in the Miz. That's a match I want to see.
Because he punked the Miz when the whole Logan Paul situation.
That's true.
I do want to talk about Nick. Nikki's comment though, just because I'm a Miz fan.
That made me a Miz fan. I'm sorry. That whole WrestleMania, I was like, yo, I'm really rooting for the Miz right now. The way I was rooting for Logan Paul, the way I was rooting for Logan Paul is the same way I was rooting for the Miz. I was like, wait. I was like, why do I want him to win? And when he won, I just laughed. I was like, yo.
That was the best way to open up a championship match for lousy WrestleMania.
Yes. Because the anticipation was, is John Cena really about to lose to The Miz? Is he really about to lose to an MTV reality star?
Right. That was everybody was more concerned about The Rock anyway. The fact that he was there.
Not to mention the nuclear heat The Miz is getting from being in the title picture.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. There's nobody else that can draw that much heat. The Miz, I always say put respect on the Miz's name because who else? Anybody else would have quit getting the treatment that he got. And the way that he read Daniel Bryan, I love Daniel Bryan. Sorry, Bryan Danielson. Sorry, Dragon. But the way he read him for filth, he read him for filth. You would have thought Miz was a housewife. You would have thought he was a whole diva.
At that moment,
filth.
I thought the main event for WrestleMania 35 was going to be Daniel Bryan and Miz.
A lot of people did.
I said it should have been, and you have Miz be the champion and have Bryan get the championship back. But I like the match.
When you go on the latest episode of the sessions with Renee, that whole promo and Daniel admits that it was mostly his feelings and what he said to cause that whole thing was more on his frustration of him. He was cleared apparently a while before all Smack and Talk to wrestle, and they wouldn't let him. So him talking and being the way that he was more on the cusp of y'all not letting me wrestle in this bullshit because y'all know I'm clear. Y'all know I'm good, but y'all keep denying that I could wrestle. Before they gave him his run. So I was like, yo, you mean to tell me you were putting gasoline on the fire and Miz caught the fire? But I same thing. I was like, yo, if this takes Daniel Bryan out of retirement to fight, I'm for it.
No,
people forget how much Miz has accomplished. Xavier Woods says it all the time. That 1 year where Miz had Money in the Bank, cashed in, became champion, won at WrestleMania, main evented and beat John Cena. That year, that's all time. You put that with a Stone Cold's best year, Rock's best year,
Jericho's best year.
Miz was not losing to anyone and held every single title.
He had a Jericho moment
at WrestleMania and won. There are a lot of people that fucking CM Punk can't say that. There are a lot of wrestlers that's wrestled in WWE that cannot say the same thing. Where
they can.
That 1 year Miz had is better than a lot of people's careers. And then you look at everything Miz has done in his career. He's held every single title.
Grand Slam champion twice.
Bro.
Put
some respect on Michael. Put some respect on Michael Mizanin's name. He pulled Maurice.
Right.
That's the cherry on top. This is my drop.
Greatest thing he ever did.
He will never lose. And I pulled that. And I came from MTV. I came from the reality world.
Like, because you can boo me all you want. I go home to Marie. Like,
And my kids in my Hollywood Hills mansion house
He
with
was
a
Logan
pool and a
Paul before Logan
Maserati.
Paul. He was Logan Paul before Logan Paul. I
Chateau,
come
yeah.
from MTV The Real World. I come from The Challenge. I had to work all the way from the bottom because all the damn wrestlers hated my ass because I came from reality TV and got everyone's damn respect. Put some respect on this man.
No, I will always say that. And wrestling is such a like complex and hard business. And the fact that the Miz has been able to longevity and this career as a reality star turned wrestler, you have to give it up to him. But I'm excited to also talk about some other stuff that happened in the women's division because we got a little bit into Charlotte Flair. But I do want to go into her return because she has returned. This has been a very exciting end of year going into 2023. We're going to go into that. We're going to go into what's next for Ronda Rousey. We're going to go into Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, what's next for all of that. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll get into all this stuff.
She could have definitely been, still making residuals off the magazines or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, when one door closes for one, come on.
I mean, that ended up being one of the like highest selling Playboy issues at that time.
Because China took over.
Yeah. And the interesting part is like you don't have to know wrestling to find Sable attractive. To be walking in a supermarket and this is on, you're gonna pick it up, you're gonna look at it. But yeah, once this happened, she became not just a star in wrestling, she became a star in pop culture. And her checks reflected it, her TV time reflected it, and a lot of women, including Sunny, were not happy with that at all, especially because you're coming into wrestling and you're not a wrestler.
Damn.
Yeah. So our Sable episode, please check it out if you haven't already. Is interesting. And I think the episodes that Krista B and I, shout out to her, that we don't agree on are usually good episodes because I'm able to learn her perspective on it. I'm able to have my perspective on it, especially someone Sable who is very polarizing and does have a very complicated legacy in wrestling. We do talk about whether or not Sable is a legend. So if you have a strong opinion about that, I suggest you definitely listen or watch that episode. I'm very excited also just to continue elevating women in wrestling that don't necessarily get their shine, like a Sable. We are doing a play on Alundra Blaze coming out on Monday, and there is a very special treat in there that is very hard for me not to say, but definitely make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our latest episodes that are going to be coming up. So, one polarizing woman that me and Krista B talk about a lot is Charlotte Flair because she is one of one. There is no other queen. Nikki. She made her return to WWE on SmackDown last Friday after a actually very entertaining. Actually, I want to get into that match. A very entertaining Ronda Rousey match. Yes, I'm saying it. It was an entertaining Ronda Rousey match. It was was it a championship match against Raquel?
Yes.
And
yes,
I was like, wow, this is like really, really good. They gave them a good amount of time. I feel like they actually had chemistry. Like, I can't believe I'm saying these things about a Ronda Rousey match. And Charlotte Flair made her return. But before we get into Charlotte Flair, I know I built it up, but now I'm like, I want to talk about the match, especially with you, Seindole.
He's got you flaming homegirl. You just flamed her. You did. Even though yes, you did. Yes, you can't pretend to be Switzerland here. That was a flame. I was sending you a Elmo on fire emoji right now in the group chat. I'm just continue. Carry.
But I do want to talk about that championship match because
it was
enjoyed
entertaining. It was very entertaining. The thing I liked about it was believable. we've seen Ronda Rousey apply that armbar so many times, but what we got to see was Raquel showcase her strength when she went up on the top rope. But at the end of the day, like that pain was that pain, and it was shooting. So when she came off of the top rope, I love that she tapped real fast because, like, all right, I really can't do nothing else. If I couldn't get her to break the hole, it and my arm is about to break off, it's time to go. So I enjoyed the match a lot. I think that everybody's giving Ronda Rousey a hard time, and for all intents and purposes, giving Raquel Rodriguez a hard time, just because like she not really hitting. So in this case, it was kind of like, all right, low expectations, to be honest, because we've been saying, the division's been meh, but now I thought they put on a good match, but it made so much sense for Charlotte Flair to make her return.
Yeah.
So, Quarter Waters, you say that Ronda Raquel was good. I disagree with you because I watched this too, and it was clunky. It was all over the place. You have someone that's not that good at taking the lead in Ronda, and someone that's still learning on the fly in Raquel, that's selling this elbow injury, so she can't do power moves, but she is doing power moves, but she's injured, and they've kind of like broken it. So why is she wrestling? And then just the match itself felt like there are two people that really have wrestled each other before, so it felt kind of like off at times, to where like it was decent. I won't go as far as good. It was decent, solid, especially given the two of them. Like, you're not gonna get like a 5-star match. That's the thing. Low expectations, but
I was just like, is the bar so low that you think that match is good?
The bar is in hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The bar is in hell.
Yes.
And Ronda's the mayor.
But it was still entertaining to watch because it wasn't just a Ronda squash, and I didn't think it was a botch fest. So I thought it was still entertaining to watch for the last episode of SmackDown. But it was even better when Charlotte showed up with new music.
New music, a new
best
look,
part of that
a new
championship
vibe.
match was Charlotte Flair's music.
Different gear. It felt good to see her gone for a while, because she's never, like,
she
I said
looked
it
good.
on a different place. She's never taken this much time off ever. It's usually been like something quick, like a month or so. Usually it's cosmetic stuff or just like mental break. Never like to this extent that she's had like this much time off. So we really got to miss her, especially given that also tended to coincide with Naomi and Sasha walking out, and then the train wreck that is Ronda being at the top of this card. We're going to try to live up to be that person, and then we're going to take it off of her because either we don't see it working or something and click and stuff like that. So it was that time where it's like, we need to start off Ronda, because I'll be damned if she's going to walk into Mania. And then we're like, all right, so do we get Becky and Ronda? Because it's kind of like it felt like that moment has passed, but then how do we reheat it? Is Becky really going to be the first ever woman to be a 2-time Royal Rumble winner? And then boom, Charlotte Flair is like, thank you, someone that could take this title off Ronda. And then she took the title off Ronda. I was like, I've never been so happy for a title change since Sasha took that title off Charlotte. And it spoke to like Ronda was not hitting. It's been a couple months. You've tried putting Shayna with her. You've tried making her a heel. You tried different things. It just ain't working. This is a sunk cost. And you could tell Charlotte this meant a lot, because Charlotte's used to getting mixed reactions or being the person that gets booed all the time. She's never been like, oh my God, you're back. Hooray, yeah. Charlotte's here. So yes.
For once, it was like the perfect storm, because I am not a fan of returning and becoming champion, especially for Charlotte, because I'm just like, you have all these quick title reigns, whatever. But it was the perfect storm of Charlotte gave us enough time to miss her. Nobody wanted Ronda Rousey as champion anymore. So it was literally like anyone at this point.
Nobody.
Like, right. And
nobody.
Nobody at all. And the fact that SmackDown fucking needed that shit. Like, that women's division has been weak for a while. Ronda Rousey isn't the best, leader in that way, where I'm excited for anything that she was doing as champion. And like, all respect to Liv, and Nikki noted that she was kind of a transitional champion between Liv and Charlotte, where if you're Ronda Rousey and we are considering you a transitional champion to the point where the bar is so low that a decent match to us was like, whoa, this is good. I will say that the finish was creative. It was realistic. I did like the finish. It was, I have never cared for Raquel. I don't get her. I don't get it. Whatever.
Work in progress.
But that was the most
work in progress.
Right. And that was the most into a Raquel match I've ever been in. And the same for Ronda. So, and I think it was the perfect time to take it off Ronda, and Charlotte was the one person that could do it. And like you guys are saying, like, Charlotte gave us a good time to miss her. We were happy. Like, thank you. Yes. Start your 100th reign, you know, dethroning Ronda and having it, you know, be all of that. But I am curious though of like what now is next for Ronda though. That cringy ass promo that
her and Shayna.
Ronda
her
is a
versus
big enough
Shayna.
name that you can have a WrestleMania match without her having a title. I've been
Thank
said
you.
this for like 2 years.
Thank you.
She
Her and
does not
Shayna
need a title.
will work.
I understand Vince's philosophy, which is how do you make things bigger? You put a title on them. But Ronda is one of those people that you don't need a title on her. Her
We
name
need
kind of
more
sells
women's.
itself.
We need more women grudge matches at WrestleMania, and that's the perfect grudge match. Like, we have all these matches, like Rey Mysterio and Dominic versus the Paul brother and Miz. That was a grudge match. Why not have a women's grudge match? I feel like that would be the perfect grudge match.
Boom.
The perfect.
Imagine if Ronda
You walk
and
together
Becky,
from the beginning, and now one of them wants to say they're better than the other, and what better way to prove it? And then not only would it help Ronda, this will help Shayna, because Shayna has been in a dead zone to me for a while. So why not take the opportunity to say who's better than who? Let's go toe to toe and see then at the showcase of them all.
or this is how you could do Ronda Becky without the title. Let's say they're both in the Rumble and they both cost each other the Rumble. Let's say you pull like Hogan in '92, where like Sid Justice eliminates Hogan, and then Hogan ends up pulling Justice out, which is what split a title. Let's say you do that where Becky eliminates Ronda, Ronda gets pissed off, and then eliminates Becky. Now Becky doesn't get her title match, and then that can go into them feuding. And now you bring up all the stuff going into WrestleMania 35 and be like, I never got a fair one with you. I never got that one-on-one. And then you could just build it like that, and you don't need a title. That's another option on top of Seindole's perfect option of Ronda and Shayna, because they have history, they're best friends, and you can always, it's right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. I agree. And it's something that everyone, like the real, I would actually shouldn't never say real fans, but that's what and I'm hoping that Shayna can bring out the best in Ronda as far as in-ring chemistry on the mic almost, because they're so close. Because like you got, like, it's written, it's right there. Yeah, it's right there.
So that's Ronda. I know someone in the chat asked about Charlotte and like her WrestleMania record, stuff like that. So for Charlotte, her being champion opens up a lot of things, because you can always do. I've always said Bianca and Charlotte are going to face each other at Mania. That's the Mania match. That's the biggest one, and that's the one that can honestly main event night one of WrestleMania. You can always do unification, title for title. The Usos are your undisputed tag team champions. Roman's your undisputed champion. You can always do the same with the women. Heads up and be like, all right, let's see who's the better woman. We faced each other once, but we've avoided each other since. You have a title, I have a title.
Yeah. I want to segue real quick, because it is Wednesdays and we do watch Dynamite. But they've really rebranded. They got a new set. What are your guys' thoughts?
Let's show the footage.
Let's see the news.
And then this is the broadcasters.
Okay, it's giving cable budget.
Hold
It's
up.
giving network budget. It's giving
Moe,
network money. Hello.
Budget now,
It's
like
giving
So
it's giving CBS budget. It's cute.
Rakasha said it's
Okay.
cute. Rakasha said it's cute.
It's giving network
it is
money.
cute.
Okay.
It is cute. It's a nice little
It's
stage.
given. We've reached the $1 million mark way too many times. Where's my money? Because I need new sets. I need new clothes. I need new wardrobe. We like
It's
it. I
showing.
like it.
It's showing how
Me
do we
too.
fuse Raw and SmackDown? Let's go. Just do red, white, and blue.
It-
You know, red and blue
it's
colors.
giving
We got the white
merger.
logo.
Now all they gotta do is give her these little steel barricades and they be set. Like, but it's just giving. I like it. We don't want electric ring posts. We don't need that, but it's giving. I like it.
It's
The
real
only thing,
cool.
like I
Especially
said, he should. It's slowly building itself to be an actual cable show.
like they just showed a wide shot of Moxley coming out right now, and that's
It looks
the
good.
wide shot to where you look at the stage. It looks 20 times better with this setup. It looks
I
like.
just hope. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like it looks like a legitimate like. Not similar to like a Raw or SmackDown, but it's like something like that where it's like, oh, this is like a nice ass stage with like the graphics and everything where it pops, especially with the colors. Like this looks really clean and smooth. Good job, AEW.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love it. I love it. So it's actually I actually watched Raw. Week all out. My sister and I were surprised that we stayed up and we were like, oh, Raw was good. What were your thoughts? We had a championship match. Bianca Belair defended against Alexa Bliss. It's been a couple weeks since they had that interview. Alexa Bliss hit her with a vase of flowers. That like turned on her a little bit. So they finally had their championship match. First off, what did you guys think of the match? Were you guys kind of here for us Bianca and Alexa feud? What did you guys ultimately think of the match? How do you feel this feud is going to continue on?
I think the match itself was good. It was a great way to open up Raw, great way to kick off the new year. But boy, oh boy, because we already knew Alexa was exercising some demons. But between the way those things showed up, followed by her getting nasty, and even during the match, like I saw Bianca turning up a notch because she knew she had to. She knew what she was dealing with. Like when she took her and she flung her up against the barricade, and I was like, okay, here we go. But man, in the end, blood was shed. Stitches. And Bianca, she said the magic word because we all know. She was like, "All my cousins want to beat up Alexa Bliss now." And we all got.
I know a thing about cousins.
Yeah, I was about to say we all got cousins, and you know, she said my face wasn't this swollen yesterday, so you know, you mess up the pretty face.
Word.
Yeah, this is
She has stitches.
Yep.
She messed with the moneymaker.
But that's what we need. And who's to say that it's not going to be? If Alexa Bliss wins the Royal Rumble, I wouldn't be surprised. If they go on to have their match at the Royal Rumble, I think it'd be great. I think it'd be a great pull. I don't think Alexa's going to win, but I think it'd be a great pull. I listen. I'm allowed to be transparent. I don't think she is. I don't think they're ready to give her back the belt solely because they're ready to give her back to Bray Wyatt. Remember, after WrestleMania is what? The draft. So who's to say that Bray's not gonna come? Well, Bray's needed at SmackDown, but who's to say that Alexis isn't going back to SmackDown because the roster needs it? Charlotte's there, great. But we all know what happened the last time Homegirl was crazy messing around with Charlotte. Like, do I think she's going to go back to the Firefly Club? Do I think she's going to turn into Sister Abigail? Yes. That's what I think. I think she's Sister Abigail.
Yeah, because we
I've
never
always
really
said
got
that.
a completion to that story because Bray
Right.
Wyatt needed time off, rightfully so.
Right. And then now
So
this is like, shout out to the wrestling realm, to your brother Dwayne, to saying like this is the first feud where it's a unique feud in itself. Like Bray's fighting with himself. Uncle Howdy is a shadow of what Bray Wyatt is. So who's to say that Uncle Howdy isn't gonna recruit Alexa Bliss, knowing that she'd be tormented by demons? We haven't seen this is week 2 without Oscar.
I thought
Yeah.
yeah.
So
and the longer this goes, the more we see those graphics pop up around Alexa.
Yep.
Also, what about Nikki Cross? Like, I want to see them. Like I don't know what's been happening with her too.
No one does.
And that's the thing. Like, ever since Triple H has been taking over, when you watch wrestling, you got to pay attention to every single frame
Detail.
on that
Yeah.
television. You can't just watch what's in front of you. You got to look what's behind. Look, we saw a Hurt Business sighting. You got to pay attention to everything. Like, that stuff is intentional.
It'd be dope to see the Hurt Business.
Oh, they coming back.
Back there. Oh my god, I can't wait.
Like when Alexa smashed that glass over Bianca's head, and then they zoom in, and then you see Lily like in the corner behind the couch, and it's like, wait, was she there? What the hell? And it's like, yeah, you gotta pay attention to every little detail because you don't know when it's gonna come up. Just like the stuff with Dexter Loomis and like, someone just randomly came from backstage and is a foot and stuff like that. So the match itself, like I saw it, I thought it was solid. It could be a little better. It's just one of those where they're not used to working each other. So maybe it's been a minute, and
yeah.
I'm gonna be nice to Alexa because usually I always say Alexa's great on the mic, but then the bell rings and she can't wrestle with the damn because she doesn't like taking bumps. So it's one of those where it's like,
ow.
Hey, I said it with my soul, but
I disagree.
I was watching for her 5 foot mouth. Like she's 5 foot. She's done a lot more than most of the people who are fucking 5'10", Raquel. She's done a lot more than a lot of the people, and like give her a little bit more credit.
I'll give her this. I will give her this.
A lot more chemistry than certain people we're not allowed to talk about. Like,
I will give her this. She wrestles to her strength. She knows her strength. She knows her weaknesses. She doesn't go outside of like, you know what I'm gonna do? A damn Hurricanrana, because I all of a sudden want to do Hurricanrana. Like she knows what she can do. She knows what she can do. But at the same time, she also has a history of concussion. So some of that is also, I gotta stay within a base because I got history of this and that. But I think like if they run it back at Rumble, I think that's gonna be a better match because then they'll have time together in the ring or just to talk it out and stuff like that, fix whatever kinks, and then we'll get like a much better match than what we got on Raw. Raw was solid, but then you also had the Bray Wyatt stuff. You had the post-match beatdown and stuff like that, where Alexa, the receipt's coming because what you did to her face, you think Bianca's gonna forget that? Them stitches, that blood, that swelling. You think she's gonna forget that? Yeah. Look at that.
And WWE.com made sure they blurred they put it in black and white.
She got the black and white because her face is like, hey, yo.
She was
on a
good.
Scale
she
of
was
1 to what the hell?
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, that was. But it also added to it, like, and like that's the thing is like sometimes it's. I mean, if she's okay, Alexa Bliss is supposed to be extreme, and like you made Bianca Belair bleed. Like and how many times do we see that stair bump? We see it all the time. Like people do it, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like so the fact that she started bleeding, like works for the story.
Well, see, that's the thing. Where else? What other sport can you have that? What other form of entertainment where an accident can make you money? Look what it did for Becky Lynch.
Right.
Yeah, out of Survivor Series, but it put in the main event of WrestleMania. Let's be real.
Thank you, Nia Jax.
Yeah.
One time right cross ended up main eventing Becky Lynch.
Exactly. And that's what we love about this business. I'm sitting here. Sorry, I'm looking at AEW, and I don't know what kind of haircut.
That was the best rap
I didn't hear it.
that Claim has done. He called out. He did call out Karen Jarrett. He called out Dixie Carter. He said that TNA stands for non-stop, total non-stop acclaimed. Yo, that shit was genius. I'm sorry. Like,
they're funny.
They're funny, and it works.
It's grown on me. It's grown.
It works.
I'm still
questioning the rest was a little controversial, but it works. Trust me, because you need.
No, I ain't doing that.
It works. Listen to me, because like, think of the connotation that scissoring has.
I know
for women,
not for me,
but for men, like, who gives a fuck? No one.
Right.
You said
no one's gonna care. Hey, listen. We don't talk about Bruno. Same thing. But
you started down the sociopath. I just said, ding.
It works. It has to work.
Scissors? But salute to them, because they went from like, yo, what the hell is this? This is really gonna get over, to like, yo, this is like over like Rover.
Yeah.
Shout out to them for putting the work in. And I hope they beat Jeff Jarrett's ass, though, because I saw why Jeff Jarrett was trending on social media, which then turned into why Kurt Angle was all of a sudden trending on Twitter.
No, it's don't put him in for his wife. Him and Karen obviously have some unfinished business. The only people I feel bad that got dragged into it, like, leave Kelly alone. Kelly ain't do nothing but be herself.
Kelly was minding her business.
It ain't her fault. It ain't nobody's fault that Kelly is a hot piece of ass. I'm saying, like, if they ain't want that temptation, they ain't want it there.
Wow.
Like, it ain't her fault that she pretty. She pretty. Like, it's not her fault.
What Dawn Marie do to you?
What Dawn Marie? Exactly. What they do to you. Like, you and your insecurities and her marriage and all that stuff, like, you putting that out there, sis. Ain't nobody asked for your opinion. It was just a rap. And mind you, keep in mind, Jeff Jarrett is the one who's head of script creative, which means he now has to hear the Acclaim's raps before they go on TV. So if you didn't watch Wife Mentioned, maybe you should be like, all right, guys, pause. My wife's kind of crazy. Like, let's scale it back a little bit. But no, you were back there like, oh no, that's just gonna be hilarious. I'll see y'all later.
If it's good for Rebby Harvey, it's good for you, babe. And
Rebby Harvey would have got online and been like, fuck the Acclaimed, and then kept it moving. Like, come on, learn how to take a joke. Shout out to her, because she be like, people were like, oh, I don't know what happened to backstage fight. Matt trying to fun. She was like, he's trying to sugarcoat it. Like, I don't have a real problem with the guy. I just don't affiliate with him, and I'm not going to start feeling. She was like, I'm not. Fuck him. Fuck you too. She's like a female Eminem. Gotta appreciate her.
And she's one of mine. You have to sabe.
I wanted to bring up. Did anybody check out? Oh man, I should have made it. This ain't it. I wanted to bring up Kiera Hogan and Jade. So they had their match on Rampage. And the thing I didn't like about it is y'all had a public breakup on Dynamite.
I noticed I didn't rate it for a specific reason.
Well, it's not a pay-per-view.
No, it had nothing to do with the pay-per-view. It was more of like...
But the thing is, like, so the baddies was something, you had a public breakup. And to me, Dynamite, Rampage is just the show. I get it's on TNT, and the TBS title is defended over there. I get it's on Friday night, but it's pre-taped. So it's really treated like a C level more than a B level. Like, to me, it's not much bigger than AEW Dark. The issue I did have was you do this, you throw the match away, essentially, right? But now you've got this inner working with Red Velvet, because when they was trying to gang on Kiera Hogan, Red Velvet stopped her. And it was like, So, like, I'm getting all confused with this story. And I know they supposed to team up tonight to take on Kiera Hogan and Sky Blue. So that's going to be interesting. But I was wondering, what did the group think about as far as should the match between Kiera Hogan and Jade Cargill been presented bigger?
It could have been a story, and they dropped the ball on that. But I think maybe they're gonna make it a story between her and Red Velvet again, which I know is kind of repetitive. But I think probably that's where they're going. I agree with you to unfold. I was just like, why are we having this match here?
Yeah.
Like you just, and that's why I'm saying it disappoints me what they doing with Jay. And I understand like keeping the title on her. I love they kept the title on her for a full year. It's just like in my mind, like keep in mind, I said in the group text, no one fucking talked about the fact that she won the match on the 5th. Tomorrow, when's the 5th? Tomorrow will be the 1 year anniversary of her winning that match. And none of us talked about it because it's how you do it. It's how you do it. Yeah. She barely defended it. She defended it in the most random ways ever. She wasn't given the caliber as CM Punk and the tags like FTR and the Acclaim were given. She wasn't given that caliber. So like when you look at it that way, how do you expect for it to work if you're not going to give her the caliber? And if it made me feel bad coming off of the collision and us not talk about such a monumental woman. She's the first African American and the longest reigning African American female champion in AEW. And none of us gave her flowers. I was just like, but I have to think about the fact that I forgot the match even happened at the beginning of the year.
Same.
And that speaks volumes. It happened in my home freaking town. It happened in my hometown of Newark. Like it happened right in my backyard. And me and Patricia, we went to an AEW pay-per-view, and what was defended in that same arena? The tag with her and Nyla Rose. Her and Nyla Rose, for you to come off the hey big bro, to come off of the storyline that she had with Nyla, and for it to be dissolved into nothing. But I think what they're trying to do with her and Red Velvet, there's history there. Maybe they're trying to rebuild it again. But now it's not the baddies in her corner no more. Like Layla Gray, love her to death. You just there. Like I don't see you being useful. The way that Red Velvet and Kira were useful, I don't see it. It was more of like a motivational, like I got my baddies in the arena, I got my baddies ringside. That's how I feel. But if Kira and Red Velvet put their friendship into the mix and make something out of it, it'll work. So that's where I saw that going with that. But yeah, I felt it was weird. Like they could have defended it on Dynamite. Don't mean that the TNT Championship is defended on TBS. Why not defend it on Dynamite? Like I didn't get it.
But it's just like this is your champion, and I hate the way they book black women. Period.
Right.
But yeah. They said this is your champion, make it a big deal. And at this point, it's like,
that's what we were saying. Yeah,
news, like you said, just make it a whole story, build
right.
Up. That's all.
Right, like she went out there, she had the celebration, she was on this cocky run, like I'm the baddest, I'm untouchable, no one can stop me, and you could see it in Red Velvet's face.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and what blows my mind, like dead ass blows my mind. What the fuck were you bringing Bow Wow into the picture for if now you're not using Bow Wow anymore? What was the point of that?
You might be coming.
You saw Rick Ross and you was like, all right, fuck him. We got Rick Ross now. Who gives a shit? What was the point? What?
Bow Wow might have obligations. He'd be jet setting.
What is Bow Wow doing that Rick Ross is not doing? Rick Ross has to worry about running a wing stop. I'm not trying to hear that shit.
Accusations.
Just sitting on Southwest Airlines. That's what Bow Wow's doing.
I don't tolerate Bow Wow slander. I don't tolerate Bow Wow slander.
But what is he busy doing? What is he busy doing? TikToks? What is he doing? TikToks? Basically, no, he's not busy. Sorry. He wasn't busy enough to be in Kira Hogan's corner, even though she threw that popcorn with the range. He could have been in her corner. Like, it just didn't make no sense. Like, and for all that,
there to be an ultimate baby.
I'm gonna have to bring this
right.
It just speaks to a bigger issue of they don't know what to do with Jade. It's like Jade had this
Wait, who got
title, but it
kicked out?
feels
It
like
wasn't me. I ain't
She
slander
kicking me
power.
out. I just got kicked out for
I
the
was
first time.
I was warning because I don't tolerate Bow Wow slander. I don't.
you ain't
Yo, we
fresh
got
because I'm
flames.
his.
We got flames.
Okay.
You ain't right, you ain't right, you ain't bumping like I'm bumping. Get out of here.
Why
In
y'all
Chai
like
Pride
Bow
Bot.
Wow though?
This is us. This is us. We got flames. Justin got kicked out of the club. Come on.
Congratulations.
All right. Being the first kicked out of the club.
Temporarily kicked out of the club because I am very serious about that. Okay. I am a Bow Wow fan. Okay. So let's leave it at that.
You ain't
Wait
fresh
a
We're gonna go to
minute.
Millennium Toll.
Wait a minute.
They won.
What?
I can't believe they just won the tag team titles.
Oh, and
Ooh.
Wow.
no,
Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
No, Aubrey is saying no.
Yes.
Aubrey is saying no.
Yeah, because they had his foot on the ropes. Yeah, Aubrey don't play that. Aubrey don't play that.
Jeff
You know,
Jarrett.
shout out to her. She don't play that. She be watching.
Jarrett.
Oh, hey, take your pelvis out of her way. Don't be violating her like that.
Exactly.
You disrespectful
what are you doing?
twat. Jeff Jarrett better get your life. Look, she's saying restart the bell. Yes, go ahead, sis.
I would have been fine with Jared and Jay Lethal winning the tag titles.
But this makes it interesting, though.
No, get his old ass out of here.
Is this going to be, it's a disqualification? Oh,
No,
they're
you know
saying
what?
restart
Jeff
the
Jarrett-
match.
Yeah, you knew that. But Jeff Jarrett definitely one of them people that I didn't like until I got older. And like as in recently. But shout out last year he was on the Mac Mania podcast and he was like real cool. But I respect him and I understand his contributions to the business. 1, 2, it's over.
Yep.
Now I ain't no Jay Lethal fan.
Nope, he's gonna reverse it. Look at that. Yep, they won.
Oh, I'm ahead of you this time.
Yeah, because I'm watching on Prime.
I didn't get. So going back to Jay, since I didn't get to jump in on this, like it speaks to a bigger issue with her, where it's like they don't know what to do with her. It's like you got this undefeated record, like, but at the same time, it's like you're not facing the big dogs. You're not facing Britt Baker. You're not facing Saraya. You're not facing Toni Storm. You're not facing Jamie Hayter.
Because they don't know what they're doing.
Like it feels like you're facing everyone else in the women's division, but you're not answering the question on if she's still undefeated, why is she not going for the big title? Why is she still TBS champion and not going for the AEW Women's Championship?
I think it proves a level of
issue for like. And that's been an issue for like honestly over like 3 months now. Whereas like
I feel like also I feel like it could be also of a factor of we don't want to do too much with her. Like and hear me out on this. I would love to see a Jade Cargo versus Britt Baker match. Like you got the powerhouse versus the technician. I would love to see that shit. Are you kidding me? Like why isn't Jade Cargo fighting with anybody? Huh?
Is Britt Baker like? I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about Britt Baker, but is that it? Is that it? I don't know.
So why not to elevate her?
Don't get kicked out of the club. 10 minutes
like
later.
Why not to why not to elevate her? Because if she let's be real, I think but I also think that they're building for Jamie Hayter to fight Britt Baker.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they're building. But like we haven't seen, they haven't thrown the level of people at Jade the way they threw the level of people at Britt. And that's what bothers me. Like, are you trying, like, whose ability are you trying to play on? Are you trying to say that, like, Jade can't sell? Or are you trying to say that no one can sell Jade? Like, what are we saying here? Because, like, why not? Like, for her and Nyla Rose is two powerhouses. Yeah, see? That's what I mean. They're building, like, it's only a matter of time before Jamie says, I'm sick of your shit. Feel me?
Okay. The bar. OKAY. Okay.
So, in my opinion, it speaks volumes. Like, are you trying to say that
You're basically saying
Jade
Jay's not on
can't?
Britt's level.
Right. But who's on Jay's level? It's not. But to me, it's not fair, and it goes back a lot to what Swole said. They don't know how to book certain people.
All right.
Yep.
That's something AW's got to work on in 2023, where it's like, yo, is it basically a hollow title reign? Because it's like, yeah, you're undefeated, but who have you really beaten? Compared to, you look at the AEW women's title picture, you ain't seen Britt or none of them come down and go challenge for that TBS title, but you're also not seeing Jade come up and be like, I have yet to lose. How the hell am I not AEW women's champion? Why am I not at the front of the line where, guess what? All y'all got L's. You know who don't got an L? This person.
But like for Britt, you want to be at the top of the mountain. Says go up against Jade, and the streak.
Or is it the opposite way around? But I am very interested in the AEW women's division, especially there's rumors out that Mercedes World Domination Tour the next stop might be AEW
to be Saraya's partner.
I'm really, really excited about that. But let's take a quick break and we will get into some more food before we close the club.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl.
Back.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, KRISTA B, one half of those wrestling girls, and we hope that you're enjoying.
Don't get kicked out the club, no. Stop it! Oh my god.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, KRISTA B, one half of those wrestling girls, and we hope that you're enjoying this current episode that we have for you. You know I had to come in here, interject, and plug ourselves real quick. We want to tell you about our merch exclusively on foryourwear.com. That's right, For Your Wear has all of those wrestling girls merch that you want and need, not only for yourself, but for your friends, your family, and your loved ones. We have t-shirts, we have hoodies, we have tank tops. So please go over to foryourwear.com to make sure you get those exclusive merch, those exclusive deals, and tell them that TWG sent you.
KRISTA B is so cute. Shout out
love her.
Make sure you cop our latest collection with For Your Wear. We definitely want to produce some more merch for you guys. So we talked a lot about the ones. We didn't just talk about WWE. We talked about AEW. We talked about Wrestle Kingdom. We talked about Stardom. We are working on producing more content recapping AEW Impact. So is that something you're interested in, please let us know what you want us to talk about. But I do want to go into the indie scene because of 2022, we definitely saw a lot happening, a lot of stars break out, a lot of promotions break out. And I think 2023 is definitely going to continue that. So our really good friend, Wilkins, who is 1/3 of Jobber Tears, amongst many, many, many other things. He is one of the hardest working people actually in the wrestling media space. He is going to have his first match against Simon Miller very, very soon. So they are going to have a pre-match weigh-in and a press conference at Legends in New York City, January 20th. Very, very exciting because I think it's like, I got to shout out Jobber Tears because they really take shit and run with it, and the fact that they're hyping this match that was actually supposed to happen in the summer of 2020, but the pandemic had other plans. So the fact that now we're able to build to it in this way, and the fact that this is a friend of ours, a lot of people are familiar with Simon Miller from YouTube for years. I'm excited for this. Seindole, I know you're going to be there with me, but
fucking row, man. Fucking row. Let me tell you something. Wilkins is about to hand that ass. He says his first and his last, but I say never say never. He about to hand that ass. Like, Simon was talking all this shit during WrestleMania weekend. He was like, "Hey, great to meet you. I'm gonna whoop your ass though. Back it up that talk, homie. Back it up. We know how people do it in the UK, but I'm ready to see it happen. I'm be there with my coffee shirt on, cheering for my friend. I'm excited."
I'll tell you this. It was Wale Mania when they had that epic showdown in Dallas. And I didn't realize the context, but I just thought it was podcaster on podcaster. Let's square off, respect, but let's square off. And so I actually am mad because I have the photo, but it's somewhere on my hard drive. But I was like, oh wow, this is a moment right here, and boom, took the picture. But look, if I don't make it to New York, I will definitely be tuned in. I see that this is going to be streaming on Twitch and YouTube, so this is going to be something special.
Ooh, January 20th. Interesting.
Justin, gas up the pacer.
Hey, the Hoopty's always ready. I just need someone's easy pass and we good to go.
Yeah, about that.
It's also a SmackDown viewing party, so you can come by if you're in the New York City area. Come by Legends Bar, join Jopper Tears, and watch SmackDown and see the weigh-in and press conference for Wilkins versus Simon Miller. It's so exciting.
And SmackDown is a week before Rumble too, so they'll be closer to Rumble.
It's a good time. Y'all know what y'all missing if y'all don't come. It's always a good time. Like everybody on this stream can attest. Excuse me. So you mean to tell me? You mean to tell me we're not coming up here?
Not to say y'all get all the fun. I think we need to figure out a way to get the TWG. I don't know, something. Residential
Wrestling boys, yeah,
the residents where we could just stay. We could go up there.
Yeah, the Airbnb. You need a real world house.
Bingo.
Oh, it could be like Jersey Shore. Like if you ever watch like the equivalent of Jersey Shore in England is Jersey Shore. The equivalent of Jersey Shore in England is called the Geordie Shore. And what they do is they all come together in the house and they work, but it's their house is like their party house, and they go out and party. So maybe we can have like a TWG house, like TWG Shore, right? And it could be right next to the bridge because don't nobody want to ever like drive on the turnpike and just go across the bridge, come to Brooklyn, and then everybody could just stay in the house and like you can just come in and stay and go to events and stuff. One of us just needs to become rich so we can make it happen.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'm manifesting.
That's definitely
manifestation.
Speaking of manifestation,
We'll put it right in the smack of Hoboken so everybody can take the train with no excuse.
God, I have seen what you've done for others. This lottery stays going up to like 500, 700 million, which has never happened before. All we're just saying is just one time.
And all you'll have to give us $172 in taxes up front. That's it.
If I hit the lottery, we taken care of. That's all I know. Y'all in my circle, like the inner circle. And I ain't talking about Jericho. So,
and then
I'm gonna give y'all everything y'all want. I'm gonna give y'all everything y'all want, and then I'm gonna go on an island, and then y'all can come to the island. That's where I'm at. And then I'm probably gonna have like my own town.
I'll pay the less taxes out of all now, so that means more money into everyone's pockets.
I love that we all want to share our riches with each other. That's awesome. That is super awesome. If I win the lottery, I'm gonna disappear.
I'm with P. No, like if I'd be like, listen, you want a car, you want a house, you want to date like Naomi, like I got you. But like after a 2-year span, I'm gonna buy an island, and y'all gonna have to just come on the island.
Hold on a sec. I love Naomi, but I ain't trying to get them hands from Jimmy, Jay, and like the 20,000 Samoans.
Listen, but when I have the island,
I feel about Montez. I'm like, I don't want them hands from Bianca because Bianca. I'm like,
I'm gonna get the.
Nobody wants their ass whooped. I be looking at Andrade. I'd be like, that's a fine Spanish man, but I know Charlotte will put me in a figure 24 if I would have ever try my chance. If I would have ever. If I would have I can't do it.
Naomi's gorgeous, but I don't want my 30-man Samoan Royal Rumble beating my ass every 2 minutes.
Yes.
It's like, which cousin is this? Oh, Jesus Christ. Are all of y'all 6'5", 270? This ain't fair.
Mm-hmm. That's all right. Bougie beat one of them.
Here comes Roman's cousin, twice removed.
Yeah, that's true.
Family.
Here comes Jimmy's third distant cousin. It's like, what the hell? So where's the tree? I need Venn diagrams.
There is a lot of them.
Yeah, it's like y'all just like, yo.
Yeah, it's time to close the club. Enough of that cousin talk.
Yeah, no, there's enough cousin interaction everywhere else.
Right. So I do want to thank everyone for joining us for the very first fan club of the year.
Wait, hold on. Are you guys looking in the comment?
What's up?
What Nikki put in the comments? I don't know. I don't be trusting Days. I trust Fightful Select more than I trust them.
If Fightful hasn't confirmed it, Fightful or Wrestling Inc. because y'all owe Rajgiri apology for the whole Sasha Banks shit over the summer.
Right.
If it ain't one of them two confirming, then it's allegedly.
And y'all know I don't care for spoilers, so I'm like, you know what? I'll see her when she shows up in AEW.
When it comes to Mercedes, when she shows up in the ring is when I believe it. Just like she did this morning for Wrestle Kingdom, where I was like, oh my God, that's her. Holy shit.
It was so fucking surreal. And it will be surreal to see her if she is signed to AEW, if she is going to be Saraya's partner. I'm very intrigued to see. I'm excited to talk about it next week. But this was a really good fan club. The first of the year. I want to thank everyone.
That Will versus Kenny Omega match might already be the top contender for one of the best matches of the year because that was a real good match.
For those in the chat, if you have not seen Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega from this morning's Wrestle Kingdom, immediately go pull that up. That is immediately a match of the year contender, and that's
the whole card was pretty good. And then shout out to FTR. They lost their titles too, didn't they?
He lost everything.
They lost it all.
They got their friend Mercedes with them, so they good.
And Bailey was there too. So She-Vival reunion. If you know, you know.
Yes, very much so. But I want to also thank my crew for joining me. And I also just want to let you guys know some news before we close out. New episodes of Those Wrestling Girls drops on Monday and every other Monday for the year. We have a spotlight on the wonderful Alundra Blaze. We will continue to be live on Twitch every fucking week. Every Wednesday you can catch me and the crew 7 to 9 for Fan Club, which is a wrestling fan club where we just get together every week. We chat some of the biggest women's wrestling news, we recap women's wrestling matches, etc., big moments. And then every Friday, you can catch Krista B and Christina, the baker for Krista B Sounds Off. We'll be going live on Spaces more on Twitter. So please check out and follow our Twitter. It's bothering me that we're not at 10K. We're literally like at less than 50 away. So please make sure you follow us. If you enjoyed Fan Club, tell your friend. If you have other wrestling fans in your circle and they want to talk wrestling with other people, invite them to join Those Wrestling Girls community. We throw events. I will be at Royal Rumble in Texas later this month. So definitely, if you see me, stop by. Let's expand that community. We have so much coming this year. New merch. My birthday is actually next Wednesday. We are kicking shout out to Capricorns in the world. I am kicking off my birthday celebration tomorrow. Happy hour drinks with my lovely co-workers. And then Saturday, I am having a party at Taj. And then next Wednesday is my actual birthday and a fan club. So we will be celebrating. And then the official birthday party. Yeah, I know. The official birthday party will be next Thursday, the second Thursday of the month, which is our monthly party, Thirsty Thursday. The first one of the year, my birthday party with CRISTINA, hopefully Seindole if she's free. You know, we drink, we talk shit, and we live it up. So I hope that you guys are ready for what those Wrestling Girls has to bring this year. And I'm gonna let my wonderful crew close out. But yeah, we have so much coming, and thank you all for your continued support of the brand. We have an order. I hope y'all remember.
I forgot the order.
I know the order because I know I go first. So that's what I'm saying. Stay tuned to everyone's socials because we will be active in these streets, whether it's Twitter, whether it's wherever. So me personally, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at It's Justin Rich. You can find me here Wednesday nights from 7 to 9 with these gorgeous, illustrious people for those Wrestling Girls fan club. You can find me from time to time Tuesday nights around 6:30ish for Turnbuckle Talk with Mimi and Corey. You know, guest hosts and stuff like that, where we chat about wrestling and other stuff through Twitter Spaces. You can catch me from time to time on True Heel Heat Sports and True Heel Heat Wrestling. Both of them are on YouTube. Right now, we're in the mix of the NFL season. Giants are playoff bound, so you will see me Sundays talking Giants football. That's right. We here, we outside, we active, and we ain't settling for second place. Let's fucking go.
Brian H. Waters, Google me. Make sure you follow me, Wrestling Realm tonight. It'll be me and brother Brandon, just us two. The real Dwayne Allen and brother Hugh won't be on the show tonight, so y'all check it out. I'm telling y'all now, I'm keeping the show at an hour. Ain't no burn the midnight oil tonight, because I've been woke. Like I haven't fully slept since before 1 a.m. So yeah, but also make sure you check me out at Ring of Wrestling. Stay tuned, and be here every week. Hashtag TWG Fan Club, but also keep talking to us on social media throughout the week about all the stuff we talk about. Go ahead, Seindole.
And as you already know, it's your girl Seindole B, aka Miss Reload Relive, aka the head of the Big City Committee. We wasn't showing today because we were a little under the weather, but I appreciate all the love and concerns about me sounding like a stuffed up elephant. I will be back in my full element, hopefully by Saturday, because I gotta celebrate my girl. It's her birthday. We gotta do it like it's Herbie Day this Saturday. You can hit me up on Instagram, reload.relive. You can hit me up on Twitter, reload via film. You can hit me up also on the Well Minority, at the Well Minority, both on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Podcast is dropping soon. 1 year anniversary is also right around the corner. And stay tuned because speaking of Royal Rumble, I have a little project with some of your favorite female podcasters, which we're gearing up to record. Be on the lookout for that. It's going to be really good. I'm really excited about this. I'm with the most in my opinion, besides PR, of course, and Krista B, the most intelligent women minds when it comes to female podcasting. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait for everybody to hear it, see it, feel it, touch it, bring it back, watch it, turn it, leave it, stop, format it, all that. I can't wait for it. And 2023, let's fucking go. It's the year of everything. We are accomplishing everything. Listen, we're going to get rid of the old you because it's expired. It's expired. This is a new you. You're going to get a new cycle, new things, new money, new clothes, new people, new everything, new energy, positive vibes only. Let's go. Oh, and call your parents. If you don't call your parents, shame on you. Call your mom and your dad.
Why are you pointing at me?
I'm pointing at everybody. Call your mom and your dad. And you ain't got your mom and your dad, call your siblings. Or anybody else you call mom or dad. That is all.
That is a great point. And this is the most excited I have been to talk about wrestling in a very long time. And I always knew that it would take Sasha Banks' Mercedes returning to wrestling for me to get that bug. And also I want to thank all of you and the crew, as well as Krista B and Christina, for just inspiring me lately and motivating me and like really reminding us why we did this, why we wanted to build a fan community, for to be able to cover big moments like Mercedes debuting in Japan and being able to cover it, being able to just do everything that we've been doing. So I want to thank you all. I want to thank everyone again for joining us. You can catch me and the crew every Wednesday for TWG Fan Club, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Twitch. And we will catch you next week.
Peace.